Good evening. Tonight, we're taking you inside a story that rarely makes headlines but could shape the very future of American power. The U.S. military is a global symbol of strength. Aircraft carriers slicing through the ocean, fighter jets roaring into the sky, and cutting-edge technology that seems almost invincible. But beneath this impressive display lies a hidden vulnerability, one that most Americans never see. Our entire defense system depends on a group of materials called rare earth elements. These tiny particles are the unsung heroes of modern life, essential to everything from the smartphones in our pockets to the missile guidance systems that protect our nation. For the military, they're absolutely critical, enabling night vision for soldiers, precision flight for pilots, and secure communications for commanders on the front lines. Without them, America's technological edge and our ability to defend ourselves could quickly erode. Imagine grounded jets, silent radars, and stalled innovation. The problem? The U.S. needs these minerals, but China controls nearly 80% of the world's supply, from mining to processing. This means our national security is, in many ways, tied to decisions made in Beijing, far beyond our own borders or control. As global tensions rise and international rivalries intensify, control over these materials becomes a powerful bargaining chip in the high-stakes game of global politics. The race for technological dominance may ultimately be decided not just by who has the best weapons, but by who controls the elements that make those weapons possible. Tonight, we'll reveal how this dependence developed over decades and what it means for America's future security and prosperity. We'll explore the risks, the history, and the urgent steps now being taken to secure our own supply before it's too late. This is a story about geology, economics, and national security, all colliding in a way that could change the balance of power. It's a quiet threat, one that doesn't make noise but could shape the outcome of future conflicts and America's place in the world. Understanding this challenge is more important than ever, as the stakes have never been higher. The fate of America's military advantage, and perhaps its global leadership, may hinge on these 17 obscure elements. So tonight, let's pull back the curtain on America's hidden Achilles heel and discover what's really at stake. Rare earth elements, 17 metals, including neodymium, yttrium, and terbium, are the vitamins of modern technology. They're not truly rare, but they're hard to extract and process. Their unique properties make them irreplaceable in electronics, green energy, and especially defense. A few pounds of these elements can make or break a fighter jet's radar or a missile's guidance system. They're essential for wind turbines, electric vehicles, MRI machines, and night vision goggles. Each element has a specific non-substitutable role. If you're missing just one, entire systems can fail. That's why a secure supply chain for all 17 is vital. These minerals are the small keys that unlock immense technological power. Whoever controls them holds a significant advantage, and right now that's not the United States. China dominates the rare earth supply chain, mining over 70% of the world's rare earth elements, which are essential for everything from smartphones to electric vehicles and advanced military technology. Even more striking, China processes nearly 90% of the global supply, refining these minerals into the high-purity materials needed for modern industries. Even when rare earth ores are mined in countries like the US and Australia, they're often shipped to China for the crucial final processing steps, making other nations dependent on Chinese expertise and infrastructure. This dominance didn't happen by chance. It's the result of decades of deliberate strategic investment and unwavering government support. China was willing to accept significant environmental costs and heavily subsidized its rare earth industry, allowing it to undercut global competitors and build a near monopoly over time. As Deng Xiaoping famously declared, "The Middle East has oil, China has rare earths." This vision guided China's long-term strategy. The result is that U.S. defense contractors and the military now depend on Chinese facilities for critical materials used in everything from fighter jets to missile guidance systems. In a crisis, Beijing could restrict or even cut off this supply, crippling America's ability to build and maintain advanced weapons and high-tech equipment. This is far more than a commercial issue. It's a profound national security risk that keeps Pentagon officials up at night. The Pentagon faces a stark dilemma. Our most advanced defense systems, and even our economic future, rely on a supply chain controlled by our primary geopolitical rival. That's the core of America's rare earth problem, a strategic vulnerability with global consequences. Rare earths are woven into every corner of U.S. military technology, forming the backbone of the nation's most advanced defense systems. These elements, though often hidden from view, are absolutely essential for the performance and reliability of modern military hardware. The F-35 fighter jet alone uses nearly 1,000 pounds of rare earths for its sensors, magnets, and power systems. Without these materials, the jet's stealth, targeting, and communication capabilities would be severely compromised, making it far less effective in combat. Abrams tanks rely on neodymium and erbium lasers for pinpoint targeting, allowing them to strike with unmatched accuracy. These rare earths enable the tanks to operate in harsh environments and maintain their technological edge on the battlefield. Navy Aegis systems use yttrium and gadolinium for advanced radar and sonar, providing the fleet with the ability to detect threats at great distances and respond rapidly. These elements are critical for maintaining maritime superiority. Night vision goggles, essential for troops during nighttime operations, depend on lanthanum. This rare earth element allows soldiers to see in complete darkness, giving them a crucial advantage in low-light conditions. Secure radios and smart munitions use rare earth magnets for guidance and communication, ensuring that information flows seamlessly and weapons hit their intended targets with precision. Without these elements, smart weapons become far less effective, losing their accuracy and reliability. The entire concept of precision warfare would be undermined. The integration is so deep that a supply disruption would ripple across every branch of the military, from the Air Force to the Navy, Army, and Marines. Every system, every operation would feel the impact. Surveillance, navigation, communication, and precision strikes, all would be degraded. The loss of rare earths would mean slower response times, less accurate targeting, and increased vulnerability to enemy actions. This isn't a minor inconvenience, it's a systemic weakness that could jeopardize national security and put lives at risk. Rare earths are the invisible threads holding together America's military edge, quietly powering the technology that keeps the nation safe and its adversaries at bay. A single missing element can ground jets, blind sensors, and silence radios, crippling the military's ability to operate effectively in a crisis. The risk is real, and the consequences could be catastrophic in a conflict. Losing access to rare earths could tip the balance in a future war. The U.S. military's technological superiority depends on a supply chain it doesn't control. That's the danger, a vulnerability that adversaries could exploit, and it's why this issue can't be ignored. Ensuring a secure supply of rare earths is not just a matter of economics, it's a matter of national defense. The U.S. once led the world in rare earth production, thanks to California's Mountain Pass mine. During the Cold War, America supplied its own needs, and much of the world's. But in the 1980s, China entered the market, subsidizing production and ignoring environmental costs. U.S. producers, facing strict regulations and higher costs, couldn't compete. By 2002, Mountain Pass shut down, and America's expertise faded. Companies chose cheap Chinese imports over domestic production. This economic decision created today's national security vulnerability. Mountain Pass has since reopened, but the U.S. still lacks large-scale processing capability. Most American mined concentrate is still sent to China for final refining. Rebuilding lost skills and infrastructure is now a race against time. Relying on China for rare earths is a geopolitical risk with real consequences. In 2010, after a dispute with Japan, China halted rare earth exports to Tokyo, sending shockwaves through global markets. Prices soared, and Japan's high-tech industry scrambled. The message was clear: rare earths are a strategic weapon, not just a commodity. For the U.S., the threat is obvious. An embargo or price hike could cripple defense production at the worst possible moment. China could also selectively restrict high-purity elements, degrading U.S. military capabilities without sparking a global crisis. This isn't just theory, it's already happened. The Pentagon now sees mineral supply chains as a frontline national security issue. America's military edge is vulnerable to economic coercion. That's why action is urgent. The 2010 crisis was a wake-up call, and Washington is finally responding. The Department of Defense is investing in a mine-to-magnet strategy, rebuilding every step of the supply chain. Pentagon funding is jump-starting new mining and, crucially, processing facilities in Texas and California. Streamlining permits and supporting private investment are now priorities. The government is also building a strategic stockpile of rare earths and magnets, an insurance policy against sudden disruptions. This isn't a quick fix, but it's a vital step toward resilience. The goal: ensure the U.S. military can access what it needs, when it needs it, without relying on a rival. A comprehensive national strategy is taking shape. America is signaling to industry, we're serious about securing our future. The work has just begun, but the direction is clear. America isn't facing this challenge alone. Allies like Australia, Canada, and Japan are key partners in diversifying the global supply chain. Australia's Lynas Corporation, for example, is building a processing plant in Texas with Pentagon support. Canada and the US have a joint plan to coordinate critical mineral policies. The goal: a global network of suppliers, so no single country can hold the world hostage. Innovation is also crucial. Researchers are developing recycling methods and searching for substitutes. Urban mining could recover rare earths from old electronics and military gear. Even partial success in finding alternatives would ease supply pressure. This dual approach, new sources and reduced demand, is key to long-term security. International cooperation and innovation are America's best tools for breaking dependence. Rare earths are a reminder that national strength depends on more than just weapons. It's about secure supply chains. For years, cheap imports masked a growing vulnerability. Now the stakes are clear. America's security and military edge depend on reliable access to these 17 elements. The solution is taking shape: government investment, private innovation, and strong alliances. Rebuilding a domestic supply chain is a national project, long, costly, but essential. Every American has a stake in this effort. Supporting responsible mining, recycling, and research is vital. The goal: a future where America's security isn't at the mercy of a rival. By acting now, we can turn a hidden weakness into a new source of strength. The challenge is formidable, but America has always risen to meet great threats. Securing our rare earth future starts today.